Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this week's Pick a Read. The question I'm going to use for this one is what's the truth? So you may have a question in mind, or maybe you're just seeing if there's something out there, one of the two, whatever works for you. If you were drawn to one of these symbols, the heart with the yellow pieces, or it's a blue jay, or the last one is the clover. Maybe there's something here that you're kind of curious, like what's the truth? It may reveal itself as the reading is going, what you're asking, or you may have a question going right into it. If you need a minute though, take a minute, pause the video, decide which one you're interested in. The heart, the yellow heart, I'll call it the yellow heart, the blue jay, or the clover. Other than that, of course, I will put the information for the decks and the dice below. And if you're interested in a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Again, if you need to, pause the video. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the yellow heart. The question is, what's the truth? Why are we doing them face down? Oh, jeez. Okay. Stepping into power here. Okay. The Six of Swords is here in the past, telling me something has been avoided. There's been a lot of avoidance on this situation. Can we get a little bit more on that? Knight of Pentacles, no work. There's been a lot of avoidance, no work towards the situation. It hasn't really been the worst thing, but there's been no progress. Definitely been no progress. Just realized that this is, there we go. Hopefully that helps. In the environment, I'm not getting any support here either for this situation. Current energy, that's going to show up later. Okay. It's not moving. It hasn't been moving. It currently might change. I'm not getting a lot of support on this situation. The truth is the current energy, not a lot of engagement, not a lot of support, not a lot of movement towards it. Something is coming in fast, is changing the landscape of the situation. The Death card is coming in very fast with this Eight of Wands. Energy coming in very quickly. There may not be a choice with it. When I say that there may not be a choice with it, I don't think it has anything to do with you. It might be the situation working around it. Things are just changing. Things are just happening very fast. The energy does move very quickly in this reading. There's not a lot of sitting around at this point. When things change, they change fast and without any apology for that. Swords. There's not a lot of healing. There's not any healing. The Tower coming in, it's not expected. There is like a point of reference here from the Oracle card is saying you might want to hold back and just kind of wait and see where the dust settles, because I do not see this being an enjoyable process. So up until this point, there's been no support, no effort towards the situation, nothing moving it forward. Things change on a dime, it seems, and it's not enjoyable. And they're saying there's nothing that's going to change the situation where you can't just hold to the side and wait to see where it settles before you make a decision on what you want to do next. Communication happens. How does communication? It does happen. I get that. Information is flowing. There's more to be revealed later. A lot of quick pieces of information. It's like I'm getting all the pieces to the right puzzle, but it's like say it's like a 1,000-piece puzzle. I'm getting 10 pieces here, 5 pieces there, a couple pieces over here. I'm getting the right pieces. They do belong to this puzzle, but there's not enough to form a picture from it. And it's strategically done that way with purpose. Like somebody seems to have control of that, and they're purposely doing that. And I feel like that's going to be more apparent going down the road. The energy is very, very prickly. I would say prickly. I don't really enjoy this, is what I'm getting. The truth here at this point is like somebody else is definitely in control here, and it doesn't matter if I like it. It just seems to be happening that way. Now, as I keep going forward, the more I realize I'm feeling left out in the cold, the question is, do I have choices available to me? Because I feel like there's only so far this can go before it's unbearable and I can't put up with this anymore. 5 of Pentacles being left on the outside. And the advice here is like you need to step into your power because this is going to drive you cuckoo. Okay, so one option is to keep working with what it has been, which this reading is saying there hasn't been any support, and realizing there hasn't been any support, and knowing that that's been the way it's been up to this point. What does that mean for you, and what choices do you really have with that? You know, if I stick with the situation and there's been no support, and if I keep going forward like there'll probably be no support, what choices does that literally give me? Or the energy's prickly. It's really prickly, so it doesn't feel comfortable at all. Are these upside down? They're the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Both of those together. That's interesting. It's the 10 of something. 10 of Wands again, and then the Justice card. Okay. Oh, that's why they're upside down. All right. Disconnecting from this situation and forging my own path. I don't know how this sounds, but I don't know if it sounds bad. Maybe it sounds bad. Giving up on the situation because it's not honoring you the way it needs to. Instead of waiting around for one of these outcomes, like putting in all this stress and effort, and it might or might not pan out in my favor, these both came in upside down, which is telling me I'm just letting go of the fight. I'm just not going to fight this anymore. I'm not going to try to make this work. I'm not going to try to be a part of this anymore. I'm just going to dismiss myself from the situation, create my own 10 of Wands where it may be a difficult road to make it work on my own, but that's where Justice also comes in on the major die. The Justice card's kind of saying, I'm taking control of this situation for myself, and I'm just not going to leave this up to other people anymore. Take that with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. Let's remember that. If you go that way, yeah. You got the 9 of Cups. Self-sufficient, but also it's self-satisfactory. I'll have what I want, but I'll define what I want. I'm redefining the situation for what I need it to be. It's completely stepping out on your own, but I don't feel like I'm held down by the situation anymore. Totally new way of doing things, totally free to do what I want to do. Then there's a whole new aspect of social connection, like a fresh new situation coming in, a fresh new way of handling things, a fresh new era. The energy is like, is it going to calm down at this point or not? The Chariot, but it's not completely in focus, and then the Knight of Swords. So the Chariot comes in like this, which tells me I gotta find a new place to stick. I have to find a new place to where I feel like I can build connections, I can build rapport, I can build some type of community for myself to feel like I fit again. And then the Knight of Swords is telling me it's gonna require a lot of communication skills, a lot of maybe contract building. signing of contracts. There might be some contracts that I have to sign, or getting into new types of things like that to get more where I want to be. Communication, there's going to be a lot of communication required. And I feel like that's a big piece of like what the truth is here. You could go a different direction, but it's going to take a lot of communication and a lot of work to create a whole new situation. But you do have possibilities out there. It depends on what the situation is for you and how important it is. Up to this point, if this reading is hitting, it wasn't really doing much to begin with. Things change and things start to move, but then it's like, even though they're moving forward, I don't know if they're going to support what I need. And it's kind of trying to realize that, like, up to this point, I didn't get the support I needed, even though things are changing, even though things are moving. Do I want to keep holding to the situation, hoping it's going to support me? Or do I want to let it go and find a whole new situation? Even though it's going to take a lot of work to create something new and start from scratch, is that more worth it to me than holding on here and hoping and wishing and wanting? The energy, it's fast. It does keep moving fast, which is ironic in my opinion, because even though there's no support around you, I feel like there's probably a lot of effort you're putting into this situation anyway. The question is it worth to stay the same path with the effort you're doing, or is it more beneficial or more scary to go out on your own and start blazing your own path? Because I didn't get any type of guarantee of like how that was going to work out. I did get, though, that there's more self-satisfaction there, feeling like I'm more in control. All right. I'm going to shut that one down there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the Blue Jay. What's the truth? Interesting. All right, so whatever it is you're dealing with seems like it was established quite a while ago. You get the Ace of Pentacles in the past. The situation when you got involved in it anyway seemed like it had a good firm base, and it seems to have grown over time. But there's lack of stability, lack of commitment here at the same time. So an analogy I would use, and it can be business, pleasure, I'm going to use a romance analogy. It's kind of like dating somebody. And then after a while, like moving in with them, and then maybe owning some property with them, but never going into the family or the marriage thing. It's just kind of like it's moved forward, but never as far as I wanted it to go. Could be a business situation where maybe you want to be a manager and you get in on the ground floor, you work your way up to a couple different units, and you can't even get to be team lead, let alone a manager. You keep trying to move ahead, but you only get so far. You never get quite where you want to be, but it is progressing. It's progressing, just maybe not as far or in the direction you want. So the question is, will it ever get where you want it to get? Okay. The effort is there. You're putting in a lot of effort. The current energy is telling me the effort is there. And you seem very bonded to this effort. Very bonded to this effort. Are you communicating at the moment? Ace of Fire and the World reversed. I don't want to. Well, I want to go into a new phase actually, but it's not seeming to happen. I'm trying to push things forward. It's not seeming to happen. I feel like I'm being met with opposition. The energy around the situation is positive, is socially positive, is pleasant, but this is more of an energy that's kind of having a good time with what's already happening. It's not really, I'm not feeling progression with this. This is kind of like a party atmosphere. This is where you go to wind down or you go to relax. This is not something where somebody's putting in effort to go to the next level. It doesn't seem like this energy currently, the atmosphere is not promoting the next level. Even though you're ready to and you're very committed to that and you're putting effort towards it, you're probably even communicating that you're ready to do that. But like when you're putting forth the effort to go to the next level, I feel like the actual situation is escaping you currently. These two cards together is like the King of Wands sitting down is interesting because that energy is more of a moving, let's get going, let's do. And it's kind of like you're ready to do things, but the energy that you're looking to match up with is moving away, is not really working in the same direction. It's over here doing its own thing while you're ready. Like I'm sitting here waiting to move forward, and it's not moving forward. Okay. And there's a question like, am I waiting for something that isn't going to happen, or is it going to happen? The first light with the Seven of Swords is kind of like, I'm starting to question, like, is this actually supposed to move forward? Does this situation actually match what I want? Like, for example, if I moved up in the ranks at this business and I never seem to get to the position I want, is there really any potential for me to get where I actually want? Is that such an uphill battle that, like, maybe I'm wasting my time here? Maybe I should be going somewhere else? Okay. I don't feel like I'm willing to give up without a fight. Put in too much time here, put in too much effort. I'm not willing to go without a fight. That's what it feels like anyway. I'm now just trying to find out, like, what options are realistic here. What choices do I really have? Is there anything else I can do to make this go where I need it to go? Are there any stones I left unturned? Is it still a waiting game, or am I waiting like a fool? How do I find out if I really stack up or if I'm really in line for the promotion I want? Same thing with like, if it was a relationship thing, like we lived, we dated for a while, we lived together for a while, we even bought property together, but I can't seem to get the family thing started. I can't seem to get the marriage thing even on the table. And if you want both of those things and neither of those things are showing up here right now, it's kind of like, okay, I want both of those things. Is that really even an option here? Does the other person I'm with have interest in that direction at all? Do they want to be married? Do they want a family? Do they even want either of those things? And I feel like it's kind of like, all right, let me see. What do I need to do to unearth this to see if this is really an actual possibility? Have I just been thinking it was an option and it just never has been? Have I just not asked the right questions? Or worse, did I ask the questions and I got answers that just kind of like, either they told me what they thought I wanted to hear for the time being, or were those possibilities there earlier, but as time has progressed, those possibilities kind of were taken off the table, I just didn't know it. Okay. Two different ways to go here at this point. Trying to find out what's really going on here. There's a healing energy here, trying to work it out, trying to really put in the diplomatic energy. So if it's business or it's a personal thing or whatever it may be, working with like either management or the other person you're in the relationship with or whatever you're doing here, talking it out. Where do they want to be? Where do you want to be? How do we salvage? How do we make this work out for the best? Do you still want to be here? If it's not going to move forward, what is that going to mean for you? A lot of like healing in the sense of like, what you thought it was versus where it's going. The matching energy, do they or don't they agree with where you want it to go? That's one way to do it. I got the High Priestess, and I got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. I don't see anything happening other than just talking it out by going this direction. It makes sense why you'd want to do that. There could be healing in the sense of like understanding what's really here, but this might also show you that like things aren't going anywhere other than where they are. The other option here is to kind of put out what you want. And kind of like, for example, if it's a business, it's like, I have aspirations to be into management. Can we set up a plan to get me into management? You tell me what you need from me, what I need to do, what do you want to see from me? Can we like can I get into like the fast track to go into some direction in one of these departments where I can end up in management? Is that possible? Or again, if it's a relationship thing, I want to be married, I want to have kids. Is this an option for you? How much time, like would it be 2 years, 3 years, less that you would be into that? Like, can we start talking about marriage and maybe do a long engagement? I'm willing to do a 3-year engagement as long as we're heading in the same direction. Like, what do we need to do to make this go forward the way I want it to? This is also kind of like saying, I'm putting it on the line. This is what I want. This is what I'm interested in. So be it a job or a person, whatever it may be, do you agree with what I want? Like, do you line up with my values? Are you on the same page with me going here? This is also the more stressful path. The Knight of Swords shows up saying, this is going to be a lot. This is going to be a lot to deal with. This is going to be a lot to handle. Moving forward in this way makes it very challenging to move forward, in the sense of like, it's either this situation is going to match me or I'm going to find a different situation that will match me. It's a lot of stress because I feel like I'm putting a lot on the situation, but at the same time, how important are your goals and what are you willing to do to make your goals happen? Because it's kind of like, if whatever you want isn't showing up naturally and it just feels like maybe I'm kidding myself that it's going to happen with this situation, am I going to accept this situation and let go of my dreams? Or am I going to challenge the situation and be like, either you match my dreams or I have to go on my own? This second path, let me just be sure. Ace of Cups shows up and the Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Cups, that's a beautiful card. That's getting what you want. But the Wheel of Fortune is telling me how you actually make it happen may be unexpected. King of Cups shows up with going with the flow. It's a trip. It's a ride. It's like, if you look at is there like a magic carpet thing there? I think it's supposed to be a sleigh, actually. Magic carpet little ride here on a sleigh or whatever it's supposed to be. It's going to be quite the unexpected trip, and it's going to take you down some unexpected roads. Isn't going to happen in 5 minutes, but you know, it's changing your path. Satisfaction does seem to be there, and they're also giving the gates of triumph, but it is a scary path. To even start off on that path, it does seem like it's a scary path. I keep questioning what I'm giving up to go down this other path to get what I actually want. So I feel like the truth of this one is like, whatever you're sticking with right now, if you try to work it out and you keep trying, like, it's readings for entertainment purposes only, take it with a grain of salt. If you keep going with the current path, you can try to work it out. I feel like trying this path and trying to heal first, you'll find out pretty quickly whether it's aligning or not aligning. And then once you find out whether it's aligning or not aligning, if it's not aligning, you just got to ask yourself, is it worth me moving on to something else to get my true dream? Or am I going to settle for what I have in front of me? All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this one down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Hello. This one is for those of you who chose the Clover. Excuse me. That's a saucy combination. We're starting right off with the King of Cups, followed by the Devil, which, ironically, the Devil is an Earth card, and that can match water. So what is going on here? Great question. Okay. So the situation has been close-knit. I feel like it's close-knit. It's very, you're either on the in or you're on the out. You got the Chariot card was where this is starting. You should still be in this situation. For those of you this is clicking with, you're either on the in or you're on the out. And you're still in that. Well, currently you're either... Okay, let's bring the energy down because there's a lot. This is one of those situations, you're either on the in or you're on the out. There's no in between. Wherever you currently are is defining what's going to happen next. So if you started on the outside and you made it in, it's defining where you're going to go next. If you were on the outside and you're currently on the outside, it seems like that's going to... It definitely seems like it's one of those situations where you're either on the in or the out. And I don't really feel like... It's either they like you or they don't. It's pretty much that is what I keep getting to. They either like you or they don't. And if they like you, you're in the in. If they don't like you, you can't seem to get in no matter what you do. It's not based on merit. It's based on likability. Okay, whatever the situation is. You seem to be... Where's the current energy for you? Because I'm trying to understand what the current energy is for whoever is clicking into this. Blocked. Blocked, can't seem to do anything. So wherever you are in this situation, you can't seem to be you can't seem to change anything, although you want to. And you're trying to think about, all right, what do I need to do to get the next progression here? And you're very motivated to do so. You're trying to think about the smart way to do it. You're really putting a lot of thought into it is what I'm getting. It's kind of like, what do I need to do? What's the smart way to move forward? I not only need to move forward, I need it to be sustainable. I'm not just, I'm willing to put in the effort. That's not a question. You're willing to put in the effort, but it's kind of like, I want to get it and keep it. I want to keep it. This isn't just something where I just get what I want and that was good enough and move on. I want to get it and keep it. How do I do that? So like another difference would be like, I don't want to just go to this beautiful house and rent a room for a week. I want to buy the house and live in this house for the rest of my life. So it's like, I don't want to just rent a room and just be like, haha, I stayed there, it was fun. I want to own the place. And I'm willing to put in the effort for it. If this reading is hitting, that's the direction we're going. And I got a lot of thoughts with stability here where, all right, I'm making very calculated, careful moves, but I'm making smart moves. I'm putting in the effort, not afraid to put in the effort. I keep getting that over and over again. And I have long-term goals, long-term desires. Maybe it's not going to be the best today. Maybe it won't be the best tomorrow, but a couple of years from now, it'll not only be great, it'll be just better from there on out. I'm not feeling bad about it at this point. I don't know where we're going just yet, just to be fair. Is this energy here complementing or conflicting? Ten of Cups, but it comes in like this, where not everybody's going to see it your way. Half of it complementing, half of it conflicting. Which I feel like for this situation is not good enough. That's current energy though. Hopefully that will change. The conflicting energy has its own ideas where it wants to go and doesn't seem to be very worried about your aspirations. So that's the King of Wands I'm feeling. It's because it has its own desires and it's not worried about what you want to come. It's worried about what it wants to come forward. Okay, so that's the current energy though. Your moment does seem to arrive where you seem to have an option or an opportunity to step forward, right? Let's do the dice on. Let's do the dice on this just to be. That 10 of Cups keeps showing up on its side. It keeps showing up literally like this. Or I was using this card before. And then the Wheel of Fortune is upside down though. I don't like that at all. This is a problem. When this situation is not backing you and it's you're either in or you're out, even though it's half back, like half the people are for you, half are against for whatever reason, I feel like I need total backing for this to really be a success, and this is becoming a problem. Even though the opportunity arises, you have like a choice at this moment. When this opportunity arises, do I just want to get along with everybody else and appease everybody else's needs and not move forward? And that seems to be a problem, like a big problem. If I just keep appeasing everybody else, I'm not going to move forward. But the thing is, the situation is a little bit dicey because it does feel very much like you're either in or you're out. And if I don't appease this energy, is that going to move me on the outs? And if I'm on the outs, what are my real options here? That does seem to make me very nervous. Do I get this option later? Like at some point, will this come forward if I keep appeasing that energy? Where does this go? Empress reversed and the 3 of Wands in stalemate, which tells me opportunities may come, but it's never going to line up to where everybody wants me to move forward at the same time. If I ever want this to move forward, I'm just going to have to break some eggs. It's like you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. And if I keep appeasing this energy, the Empress upside down is kind of like, it's going to be draining. It's just going to be always where I feel like I'm doing things for other people, pleasing other people, making other people happy, but I never get what I really want. There's the other choice to where opportunity shows up and then you step into your own power. Half of this situation is not going to be happy with you for it. That's going to happen, is what I keep getting. Take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. If you step into your power, it's you committed to your outcome. Even though there's going to be people here very unhappy with you, you committed to your outcome gives you that chance to actually attain what you want. If you choose to go that way, it's going to take some balancing, but you're going to have to keep pushing forward. Once you start your path, you got to follow it through to the end. You got to lead yourself through to the end. You got to keep going to the end if you're going to get what you actually want here. I get that you'll work with other people. As long as I keep moving forward, I'll help you with that. You got to help me move forward. I'll help you with that. You got to help me move forward. I'll help you with that. You got to help me move forward. I feel like I have to keep balancing it out and moving forward and moving forward and moving forward. It's kind of like I showed up for this situation to own this house. I'm not looking to rent it. I'm looking to own it. If you keep helping me find ways to make that happen, I'll help you with your help, with what you need help with, if you keep helping me move forward in this direction. And I keep having to balance it forward. I have to keep reminding people, this is what I want, this is what I need. At some point, it will go your way. I don't think it'll be the easiest path, but you'll get used to it. The more I get used to what I need to do to make it happen, the easier it gets. At some point, especially because I see you, one hand washes the other, you're helping other people who are helping you, you're helping them, they're helping you. It's not the easiest path forward. I just feel like I need to make that really clear, but you do get used to it and you will come to fruition to where you want to be. It just takes a while. You also won't be on the outs with people forever. They will get over it, especially because you make good on it. You do for them as they do for you, and you keep going forward with what you want. I feel like part of this path is accepting that you're not always going to be liked by people, but you're not going to be so disliked that you're hated. You're just going to be disliked. It's not like venomous. It shouldn't be anyway. Take it with a grain of salt. These are, for entertainment purposes only. But things go better after a while. You got the Ten of Cups returning. You got the Sun card coming in. You got Justice coming in. There's also the Ten of Wands coming in, which is, it's stress, but it's success leading through it. It will work out. It will be okay. It's just making peace with not being liked every now and then, or at least for, every now and then. Ruffling the feathers, shaking up that apple cart, or whatever you want to call it. Shaking things up a bit. It's hard to not be liked in this situation is what I get. I feel like that's very uncomfortable. But is the goal you want worth it is the question. So I guess the truth is here, if you don't step outside the boundaries here and end up willing to be disliked for a while, getting that goal you want doesn't seem to be very likely. But if you're willing to step outside of the bounds, let people not like you here and there now and then, shake up the apple cart. I think I'm saying that wrong. I don't know if I put that wrong. Something, upset the apple cart? Is that what I'm supposed to say? I don't know. But if you're willing to do that, you can have what you want. It will return back to a good place, especially after you attain the goal. It will return back to a good place, but it's getting through the uncomfortable times where people are not the biggest fan of you. If that's worth it. That's the question. All right. I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.